Spain killed its golden visa, so did Ireland, the Netherlands, Luxembourg and the UK. Romania's program never even got off the ground before the EU clamped down on it. Europe is shrinking its golden visa map fast. But 8 attractive European residency programs have survived, from a €50,000 entry point to immediate permanent residency in the Balkans. These are the European golden visas still accepting applications this year. We're going to cover every single one, what they cost, what you get, and what's changed. But before we get into the list, a quick definition. No European government actually uses the term golden visa in its legislation. Portugal's famous golden visa program is actually called the ARI program. Greece calls it a residence permit for investors. Hungary invented the phrase guest investor residence permit. For the sake of consistency, in this video, we'll call a golden visa a residence permit obtained through a passive financial investment, where the holder is not required to either live in the country or become a tax resident. Under that definition, only 8 European countries have active programs right now. Portugal's golden visa is the most scrutinized program in the market. The real estate route ended in October 2023, but what has survived are €500,000 investment fund subscriptions, which is the dominant route today. €250,000 for cultural or artistic donations, €500,000 donations for scientific research and business creation with at least 10 jobs. The most attractive part for foreign nationals of this golden visa program has been the physical presence requirement of just 7 days per year on average up until year 5, when permanent residency or citizenship eligibility comes into the picture. Portugal's parliament voted in October 2025 to extend naturalisation timelines to 10 years for non-EU, non-CPLP nationals, but the Constitutional Court struck down parts of the law in December 2025, and the President vetoed the decree. The bill is back in Parliament. Whether the 10-year timeline passes, get amended, or fails entirely is still an open question. By the time you watch this video, we may have an answer. By the way, stay up to date on news and program updates like this by subscribing to the IMI Daily newsletter at the link below. And then there's the backlog. More than 20,000 applicants are waiting for appointments, with AIMA, Portugal's migration agency, and processing times have hit a record 39.6 months. That's over 3 years from application to appointment. But the government has promised resolution in 2026, generating an estimated €85 million in revenue. The programme's core value proposition has changed quite a bit since it was introduced more than a decade ago. The non-habitual resident regime was decapitated. The real estate investment option has disappeared. The contribution thresholds have almost doubled, and now the citizenship timeline may start later and extend more than twice as long, but it still delivers a residency permit, Schengen access, and a path to citizenship. Now to the program that has captured a lot of interest and capital since all these changes in Portugal. That is Greece. Greece overhauled its golden visa in September 2024 with a zone-based pricing system. Property purchases of at least 120 square meters in Athens, Thessaloniki, Mykonos, Santorini, and islands with more than 3,100 inhabitants now require €800,000. All other regions cost €400,000 with the same size requirement. Commercial to residential conversions and restoration of listed buildings, however, qualify at €250,000 anywhere in the country. If real estate isn't your path, Greece's golden visa program offers a whole array of contribution options. Non-property alternatives include €500,000 in Greek government bonds, €500,000 in a fixed-term bank deposit, or €800,000 in equities and corporate bonds. No minimum stay is required on the Greece Golden Visa, as it grants immediate permanent residency to successful applicants. Citizenship eligibility begins after 7 years of tax residence in Greece, plus a language exam. Most golden visa holders never meet these stringent requirements. One important restriction for Greece golden visa property investors: short-term rentals are now prohibited from the program. If you are caught listing yours on Airbnb, you can face a €50,000 fine and visa revocation. Greece also proposed legislation in January 2026 to fix backdated residence permits and streamline renewals, addressing a backlog of roughly 42,390 pending applications. Decentralized processing has helped the program slim their time to approval down to just a few months from almost 2 years. If real estate is your preferred route in Greece, Latvia, or any other program, you can find eligible properties on IMI Real Estate, where we collect only listings that qualify for residency or citizenship. Hungary's Guest Investor Residence Permit launched in July 2024, but has not gotten the attention that it may deserve. 2 investment routes are available: €250,000 in a government-accredited real estate fund, or a €1 million donation to a higher education institution in Hungary. A €500,000 direct real estate route was abolished in January 2025 after concerns about rising housing prices. What makes Hungary interesting is the structure. You get a 10-year permit, renewable for another 10. 0 physical presence is required. Schengen travel rights activate immediately. And like in Italy, which we'll talk about later in the video, investors receive pre-approval before committing capital. You know you're approved before you write the check. This element of the program reduces investors' risk. Family inclusion is broad, covering spouses, children under 18 or up to 26 if financially dependent and studying, and parents aged 65 and over. But citizenship in Hungary is a different story. To qualify, you must spend at least 8 years of continuous full-time residence in Hungary, pass a Hungarian language and cultural knowledge exam, and meet financial self-sufficiency requirements. That's a long road, and one that requires you to actually live there, like Greece's program does as well. To another overlooked Eastern European residency program, Bulgaria's Golden Visa flies under the radar, but it offers something no other EU program can match: immediate, permanent residency from a single fund investment of €512,000. You invest in alternative investment funds or exchange-traded funds licensed by Bulgaria's Financial Supervision Commission, of which there are only 2 currently. Maintain the investment for at least 5 years, and you hold a permanent residency card within 6 to 8 months. No physical residence is required to keep that status. Easy does it. Bulgaria joined the Schengen area in January 2025 and adopted the euro in January 2026, which eliminated the currency risk that used to complicate fund subscriptions. Also, tax residents benefit from a flat 10% income and corporate tax rate, the lowest in the EU. Citizenship eligibility begins 5 years after permanent residency is granted, subject to an A1 level Bulgarian language requirement that most people can achieve in just a few months of remote study. And, an important note if you have a family, children of Bulgarian citizens acquire citizenship by descent regardless of age. Latvia has one of Europe's oldest golden visas, operational since 2010 and by far the cheapest. 3 investment routes are open to you: €50,000 in a company with fewer than 50 employees and under €10 million turnover, €250,000 in a local real estate purchase, plus a 5% government fee, or €280,000 in a Latvian bank deposit for 5 years, plus a €25,000 government fee. The bank deposit route is worth noting because it returns your capital in full after the 5-year residency period. Real estate investments surged to 45% of approvals in the first half of 2025, but may not be able to promise the same full return that the former option can. Latvia processed just 44 main applicants in the first half of 2025, which set the program on track for its strongest year since 2021. No minimum stay is required in Latvia as part of the program. Citizenship, however, takes at least 10 years of physical residency, plus Latvian language proficiency and history exams. What we call La Dolce Visa. Italy's investor visa grants residents through 4 contribution routes: €250,000 in an innovative Italian startup, €500,000 in shares of an Italian company, €2 million in Italian government bonds, or a €1 million philanthropic donation. Processing takes 3 to 4 months, and no minimum stay is explicitly required. though applications must demonstrate an intent to reside. If you do want to relocate to Italy, the country may have an attractive tax regime for your situation. Italy offers a 7% flat tax for retirees relocating to southern municipalities with fewer than 20,000 inhabitants, valid for up to 10 years on all foreign-sourced income. Also a €300,000 flat tax on all your foreign income per annum, no matter how much you earn or generate. Another potentially tax-friendly option in Europe is Cyprus. The Mediterranean island country offers permanent residency through a €300,000 property investment plus VAT in new residential real estate. Commercial property and investment fund units at the same threshold also qualify. Applicants must demonstrate a secured annual income of at least €50,000 from abroad, plus €15,000 for a spouse and €10,000 per child. Processing takes 2 to 3 months, and you only need to visit once every 2 years to keep your permanent residency active. The tax picture, as we alluded to earlier, is where Cyprus can get really interesting, especially in the grander scheme of European taxes. No wealth tax, inheritance tax, or gift tax. In fact, non-domiciled residents pay zero tax on dividends and interest for up to 17 years, and foreign pensions face a flat 5% rate above an exempt threshold. For retirees and passive income earners, this is one of Europe's most generous tax environments. And here's another potentially tax-friendly option for foreign nationals investing in Europe. If you haven't heard by now, Malta's direct citizenship by investment program ended in April 2025 after an EU Court of Justice ruling. But the Malta Permanent Residence Program, or MPRP, has survived, is popular, and is accepting applications. The MPRP combines a government contribution, property purchase or lease, the latter being more popular, and a philanthropic donation. Total costs start around $130,000 when leasing, varying with property choice and family size. Malta is the most affordable entry point for a direct permanent residency program in Europe that includes Schengen access. What sets Malta apart is 4-generation family inclusion. Spouses, children, parents, grandparents, and in some cases great-grandparents can be covered under a single application and contribution, albeit with a few more fees. No minimum stay is required, and English is an official language. But don't consider citizenship a shoo-in after the 5-year naturalization path written into law. In practice, most investors don't naturalize for at least a decade and a half of boots-on-the-ground physical presence. So, as we alluded to in the intro, the golden visa closures of the past few years follow a clear pattern. Political pressure over housing affordability, combined with EU institutional resistance to passive investment pathways. The window for European golden visas is not getting wider, and if history is any indication, these programs only get more expensive, more restrictive, or disappear completely. So the time is now to secure your spot. If you want to stay current on program changes, closures, and new launches as they happen, subscribe to IMI Daily's newsletter and, of course, this channel. So we talked about the 8 European golden visas still open in 2026. But what about the world's most premium residency programs? Even more expensive than most citizenship by investment programs, these golden visas will inspire you to earn more and more. Check out the world's 7 most costly residence permits in the video on your screen now. Subscribe so you don't miss out on investment opportunities and sovereignty strategies like today's video covered. See you in the next one.